Every day we tell each other that this day will be the last, and tomorrow we all can go home free, and all this will finally end. Palestine, tomorrow will be free. Palestine, tomorrow will be free.
My business is also here, and I stand here. I'm quite disturbed to see this resolution before the council for a number of reasons. Number one, I feel that this resolution is a direct assault on academic freedom at universities. York University is not in the town of Markham to start with, although its name is York, but it's not even in the York region. And Markham is not in the state of Israel. So I really do not understand why this council is debating this issue. I also want to address this issue of the word apartheid that has been raised repeatedly, and I'm not going to repeat what others have said, but let me point out, for the benefit of council members, that this word apartheid was applied to the state of Israel, not by the Palestinians. It actually was applied by Jewish citizens of Israel. And let me give you their names for your benefit. And I'll show you a book as well. The late Israel Shahak, the late Professor Baruch Kimmerling, Yuri Davis, who's an academic and a Jewish citizen, Professor Ilan Pape, who was mentioned earlier. In fact, I have the book from Yuri Davis. It's titled Apartheid Israel. He's a Jewish citizen, lives in Israel, so it's not something that the Palestinians have coined. And I'd like to read for you something that C.L. Sulzberger, one of the editors of the New York Times, wrote about Israel and South Africa. Allow me to read this for you. And by the way, C.L. Sulzberger was editor of the New York Times for many years, and he's of Jewish origin as well. Afrikaner South Africa and Jewish Israel both began in 1948, when the Nationalist Party gained control of this country, that is South Africa, and Palestine was partitioned. South Africa was one of the first states to recognize Israel. Its prime minister, that's the South African prime minister, D.F. Malan, was the first foreign chief of government to visit it. The Afrikaner sees Israel as another small nation, surrounded by enemies, where the Bible and a revived language are vital factors. As Jamie Kruger, former editor of Die Transvaal, wrote, the Afrikaners are par excellence the nation of the book. This is in quotes. The fundamentalist Boers trekked northward with gun in one hand and Bible in the other. Like Israel, South Africa feels the role of language and religion are important to national survival. Prime Minister Foster of South Africa even goes so far as to say Israel is now faced with an apartheid problem. How to handle its Arab inhabitants. Neither nation wants to place its future entirely in the hands of the surrounding majority and would prefer to fight. Both South Africa and Israel are, in essence, intruded states. They were built by pioneers organizing abroad and settling in partially inhabited areas. The only people here, when the first Dutch arrived, were Bushmen and Hottentots, but the Zulus who would be living in Johannesburg were it not for the Boers' northward trek. And this is a quote from C.L. Sulzberger, Strange Non-Alliance, New York Times, April 28, 1971. So those of the council members, particularly Mr. Shaw, who takes so much umbrage to the use of the word apartheid, I would respectfully like to remind him that this word has been used by Israeli Jewish citizens themselves. They were the ones who coined it. And as you also saw, we have a number of Jewish Canadians with us who are also opposed to the policies of the Zionist state of Israel. Now I hear that that council members would be going to Israel. I would respectfully submit to you that if you want to go to Israel, please go and visit the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, which is under an Israeli siege and has been, and children and women and men have been denied basic rights, food, medicines, baby formula milk. This is what is referred to as apartheid. You go to Israel and you will be driving on Jewish-only highways. Just imagine if we had 404 designated as an exclusive whites-only highway. How many of you would support that? Yet in Israel you would have Jewish exclusive highways where the Palestinians are forbidden. And as had already been mentioned, the wall that has been built, it has actually been condemned by the International Court of Justice in July of 2004 as illegal. And I want to finally point out, it has been mentioned a couple of times that while the Canadian government and the Ontario government have condemned Israeli Apartheid Week, as was pointed out, the government of Canada has, but the Parliament has not passed that bill. The Ontario legislature passed that bill, but it was only 30 members that it was reported. But there's another factor over here, and that is that we elect our council members to deal with municipal affairs, not with international affairs. You want to indulge in international affairs? Run for federal politics. There is a federal campaign going on. It may be perhaps a little too late for you in this campaign, but perhaps you can think about it next time. But let me also say this. The federal government has just sent planes to Libya to attack military positions over there. Is the council then going to pass a resolution that we are going to send the single-engine planes from Buttonville Airport to bomb Gaddafi's military installations? I mean, this is absurd. I think we need to wake up. We elected our members of council to deal with municipal affairs. In my 30 years of living in Markham, I have not seen a single brochure during the election campaign, any councillor, any mayor, past or present, telling me that they wish to indulge in international affairs or they're going to formulate international policies for us. We elected you to deal with our council affairs. The sidewalk outside my house is broken on Markham Road, on Manhattan Drive. I'd like to see my council taking care of that, and the Public Works Department taking care of it. I will talk to you later. We don't want our tax dollars to be wasted on these frivolous things. We want you to please concentrate on the job for which we have elected you, and that is to deal with our municipal affairs. I think it is very important that we do not stifle legitimate debate in this country. We ran away from all these tyrannies because we felt that Canada provides us that opportunity. We don't want to turn Canada into another South Africa. We don't want to turn Canada into another Saudi Arabia. We don't want to turn Canada into another Libya or Israel. We want Canada to be Canada. That's why we came here. And it is very important that we understand what the issues are. And I urge the council, please, to reject this motion. This is a waste of our tax dollars, it's a waste of our time, and it's a waste of our resources, precious resources that we need to apply over here. Thank you very much.
No mother, no father to wipe away my tears. That's why I will cry. I feel scared, but I won't show my fears. I keep my head high, deep in my heart. I never have any doubt that Palestine tomorrow will be free. Palestine tomorrow will be free. I saw those rockets and bombs shining in the sky, like drops of rain in the sun's light, taking away everyone dear to my heart, destroying my dreams in a blink of an eye. What happened to our human rights? What happened to the sanctity of life and all